Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Husky Rhodes, and welcome back to another chronicle of the legendary career of the man called Sting, or as you know him, as the Icon. Dream matches are pretty common in wrestling fandom. Everyone talked at this time about WCW versus WWE in dream matches. Like, for instance, Austin and Goldberg. Still talked about to this day. Hell, Sting even has a dream match that a lot of people talk about, him versus The Undertaker. Which, given if both men were still in their prime, I would pay all of the money to see that. But Sting actually had a bit of a dream match in WCW in the late 90s against the one, the only, the Hitman Bret Hart. Now, if you put the two down on paper, they were both super over baby faces. Both technically smaller guys compared to who they went up against, like Bret and Yoko, Sting and Vader. Kind of get the idea. Both former world champions. And also, and this is the most important part, both men use the exact same finishing move. Just with different names, of course. On paper, this should be a fantastic match, right? Well, it fell a little short. Let's get into it, shall we? So there was a bit of storyline playing up into this. You have Bret Hart turning heel and joining up with the NWO, but still claiming to be friends with Sting. And at this time, this is when Sting joins the Wolfpack. And it was weird and messy. But I will say that one of the best backstage brawls that WCW had was during this feud. This was like 2 weeks before Halloween Havoc, I believe. They had one of the best backstage fights in WCW history. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. But then you get to the pay-per-view. I don't want to say anything negative about Sting, but I have to point this out. The goatee through the paint. That was a choice. I'll just say that was a choice. But the match kind of starts out weird. Like, Bret being the kind of cowardly heel and not wanting to get into the ring and not wanting to fight. It seems weird to me. Just looking back through Bret Hart's career, it just seems weird him being in that type of heel role. But I digress. Sting comes out, starts the attack. He's kind of taunting Bret. And then Bret hits him with a DDT and then completely takes over the match. There's weapons being used, there's the fake brass knuckles that Sting knocks off of Bret, tries to use them, referee catches his arm, low blow. A lot of just, I hate to say it, it's late 90s WCW kind of booking at points. Sting hits a superplex onto Bret. Mind you, the referee takes a bump from Sting being attacked from behind with a weapon by Bret. Referee pulls Bret away. He goes to check on Sting. Sting thinks it's Bret. Elbows him. Ref goes down. And then Bret does this weird thing where he to ensure the referee's down, he throws a leg drop on him. I'm like, that was kind of unnecessary. Because, I mean, if you watch wrestling long enough, if referee takes a punch, he's down for like 15 minutes. Let's be real, guys. They do a spot. I feel bad for Billy Silverman for this part. They do a spot in the corner where Brett is superplexed by Sting. And Brett lands on this poor man's feet and ankles. Like, that's gotta hurt. But the finish of the match comes where Sting hits Brett with a scorpion or the Stinger Splash, but he overshoots him, brains himself on the ring post, and is out cold. So, to finish the job, Brett takes Sting's bat, hits him in the back a few times, gets him in the ring, diving chop with the bat on his throat, puts the Scorpion Deathlock or the Sharpshooter on, and Sting's completely out cold, and Brett beats Sting for the United States title. And they take Sting out on a stretcher at the end of the match. This is kind of symbolic, because after this, Sting takes a break until March of '99. At the time, sadly, he was dealing with a lot of drug issues, and he was also going through a divorce. So he needed to get his life back together. So he took time away from wrestling, took care of his life, came back, has completely ditched the Wolfpack paint at this point. He's back to OG Crow Sting in '99. So this ends everything with the NWO. If I were going to rate this match, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's two of my favorite wrestlers in a ring, so it gets points for that, but if they were both in better headspaces, this would have been a million times better. And sadly, that's going to wrap it up this week for Icon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.